The first time I met Wayne, he was extremely driven, and he had a ton of energy, and highly competent, and extremely funny.
Val is a tremendously warm-hearted, kind person. I don't think you could know a much better person. You and I talked one day on the phone, and you were kind of hitting a low point as a mom, and you said, you know, not long ago I was dining with the president, and now I'm cleaning up oatmeal off the floor.
That was a bad day.
Yeah, it was a bad day.
That was a bad day.
You remember the conversation we had when I told you that I didn't want to work as a permanent employee anymore, but I really thought I would do better long term doing my own thing. Mm-hmm. And so career, in many ways, for me, became first while you were maintaining the home fires. It required a lot of time. Sometimes money costs too much because you can't get those days back with your kids.
It was December 30th, my daughter's 17th birthday, and I was getting ready to sort of get the house ready for the party and for Erica's birthday celebration later that afternoon.
I thought perhaps I either had a touch of food poisoning or maybe it was coming down with a stomach bug.
And we heard a sort of loud thud upstairs. I said, let me go upstairs and check. Wayne was sort of draped over the electric piano that we had in one of the guest bedrooms. And I could tell he was struggling to stay upright.
You know, at that point, I really sort of lost touch with what was going on around me.
He was not making any sense. He was making sounds, but not really anything intelligible. So I got closer to him and I saw his eyes were rolling. And I knew immediately he was having a stroke because the left side of his mouth drooped.
I thought she was being a bit hysterical. I was just, had some stomach bug, and that was what was affecting my equilibrium. But she had seen the signs of a stroke.
Lexi got a compress for Wayne's head, and I just kept telling Erica to make sure that they knew it was a stroke.
And that was pretty much day one for me in terms of a bad journey.
I think after you came home and things were kind of starting to get back into routine, one of the major things that had changed between us was that you couldn't play video games anymore because your left hand.
No more Call of Duty.
Yeah, so that was something that we used to do a lot.
What was the highest level we got to in zombies?
Like 63 or something. The moments that I kind of felt like, oh, he's still the same, were kind of the moments that we would just kind of have random sarcastic banter, because I got my sarcasm from you, 100%.
The business since 2014, when I had the stroke, has revenues, top line revenue has dropped about 90%. And as your mental acuity dropped off and your availability dropped off, a lot of these networks collapsed.
Come on in. Hey! How are you? It's great to see you.
Good to see you.
It's for me. And I'll never forget, you basically said, we've got you. We've got you, let me know what's happening. And at that moment, I was so relieved and so grateful that we had you and you were responsive. It just meant so much because you were my first call and you were the first man on board.
We like to say it is peace of mind coverage. It's peace of mind that your family can live the lifestyle that they're currently accustomed to.
If you think about your financial security, it's sort of like a stool on which you rest. And I said this was a leg that was missing.
It's a piece of the pie, and
a piece of the pie that many people neglect.
And Wayne would always say, what could ever happen to me that I wouldn't be able to use my brain? And if somebody had asked me, is this going to happen to you? We would say, absolutely not. We've been so lucky. We've had the best life. We're doing everything right. And in a moment, it just all changed.
Or might be using the drive toward the Caucasus as a feint to draw Russian reserves from the capital. But when Lucy's torrent of inner strategy continued to accurately forecast...
It took us a while to learn after the stroke that just reading a novel was beyond my capability. I would become extremely fatigued to the point where you wanted to sleep and just couldn't persevere through a book. My cognitive therapist came up with this idea that I should both read the book and listen to the book simultaneously as a way of retraining your brain to be able to do this. Essentially, it's rebuilding skills and building stamina simultaneously. But for me, the cognitive issue has been the showstopper. What do you think in terms of being able to go to Blind Charlie's tomorrow? Any chance?
You know, the entire time that this was happening, Wayne is such a fighter and such a survivor that it never once occurred to me that he would not come out on the other side.
For me, what I'd like to think the path forward is, I don't think you ever get back to the point where you're 100% of who you were in the past. But I'd like to think that, yeah, I will come as close to that as possible. The provider aspect, disability income really helps take care of. But those other pieces are the things that you have to rebuild in a different way.
This disability has given us the gift and the freedom to continue to live our life in a way that we always hoped we would be able to.